With Eddie Guerrero, did you ever have any problems with that? You and Eddie, there was an incident at one time, or?
Yeah, Eddie and I had a fight. Well, basically what was going on is Eddie's health was deteriorating. Eddie was having difficulty trying to figure out, wondering what was wrong with him. He didn't know he had a heart problem. Nobody knew he had a heart problem. Some nights Eddie was incredible, and some nights Eddie was completely dead. He couldn't even move. And he was so frustrated about it, praying about it, you know, praying every night, trying to train every day, doing everything he could to make his body healthier and better and feel better and prepare for his matches. And his body just kept breaking down, and he couldn't figure out why. And I believe that it was something with the valve in his heart wasn't pumping blood to his body. So some nights when his heart was fine, he was great. And I'd be like, Eddie, you're on fire tonight, you know. And some nights he was just dead. We had a lumberjack match, and he couldn't do anything. And it was to the point that, God bless Eddie, I love him, God bless him, but I looked up at the gorilla and I was like, can we just end this match? Because Eddie can't do it. He couldn't do anything. He's telling me, get away from me, don't touch me, don't touch me. I'm like, what do you want me to do? He goes, just stay away from me. I said, well, I got to do something. Can I throw you outside? Yeah, throw me outside. Threw him outside, and lumberjacks started beating him up. And he said, stay away from me. Now they had to stay away from him. When I brought him in the ring, I tried to do a spot with him. He held on to the rope. He said, no, don't touch me, don't touch me. So I was like, and Bubba Ray, Dudley, brother Ray, was like, what's going on? I said, something's wrong with Eddie. So the next week, we ended up doing a run-in, and a couple of guys, I think Luther Reigns and Mark Jindrak were a little stiff on Eddie. And he came back, and I said, thank you, Eddie. And he wasn't feeling good that night. And he said something like, you know what, you guys are taking advantage of me, you're beating the crap out of me. And I was having a hard time dealing with the fact that Eddie and I weren't having that great of matches lately. And it was starting to get, you know, it was starting to wear and tear on me. Mentally, I was getting a little bit angry about it, but I was hiding it from Eddie. I didn't want Eddie to think anything. But when he yelled at me, I was like, screw you. You know, and I shoved him. I said, you want effing, you know, you haven't been doing shit. I've been carrying your fucking ass for the last 2 months. And Eddie said something else again, and I shoved him again, and before I knew it, Eddie's trying to take me down. And so I put him in a front headlock and started choking him out. And then Big Show came, thank God, and he cleared it. And you know what, it was my behavior. I should have just let Eddie vent. And you know, I didn't realize Eddie was having health problems. And that's where I think a lot of the blame doesn't go to Vince and WWE. It goes to the guys that knew Eddie the most. You know, me, Chris, Eddie, you know, Chavo, Eddie's family, you know, Eddie's friends, you know, Eddie's, you know, closest family members. Eddie was having some health problems, and some days he would look great, and he had color, you know, he had good skin tone. Some days he looked white as a ghost. And so I knew the days he was struggling, and what did it come down to? He had some kind of heart problem, and we should have had him tested a long time ago. He'd still be alive today. So you know, you can't blame WWE. It's not really their fault. It's, you know, it's just a